The good evening to you all, and also I'm really delighted to just see the number of participants here, and it's around 250. Okay, right. So my name is Chamil Abekon. I'm working at the University of Manchester, as Samal mentioned. Thanks for the kind introduction here. And then today I'll briefly go into the some facts and figures on how to publish and present a research work and why it is important to publish. Okay, so that is the main theme, and then I'll try to align my talk to address mostly about the conference publications and the presentation as well. Right, so then the brief overview of my talk today is the research, what it is. As an undergraduate student, can I do research? It's really important. The types of research publications, how to publish the research work, where to publish, benefits of publishing research work, and also basic structure of a conference paper, and then the how to deliver a good presentation, and also some tips about a good presentation. Right, the research. So what it is it? So then actually the research can be defined in number of different ways actually. So then here you could see that the research is defined as a creation of new knowledge and or use of existing knowledge in a new way to the new and creative way to generate new concepts, methodologies and understandings. Okay, so here the main thing is the developing the some knowledge to contribute to the knowledge in the world actually, or just we talk about the novelty of something, right? You have to expand the knowledge or just contribute something to the knowledge which is new. Okay, so that is the idea. Right, so then the next question, as an undergraduate, most of you are just good to know that most of the participants are undergraduates here. So then main question that you have might be whether as an undergraduate, can I do some research? Of course, yes. The answer is just simple. So any of us can do some research. It's not only an undergraduate, so anyone can do research actually. So most of the research may be planned, may be unplanned as well. The kind of the well-known story, maybe if you heard of, the graphene invented in University of Manchester, it was an accidental thing. Okay, right. So then they were talking about they were looking at the single layer of carbon atom to separate it. It was really difficult, but the discovery came accidentally in one of the evening, so which was not the planned for. Okay, so therefore anyone can do research, right? So as an undergraduate, I believe that you will have a number of projects in your undergraduate degree. So for me, when I was doing my undergrad in the 2002 to 2007, so we had two projects, the one third year individual project, and also the fourth year the group project. So try to do it with some kind of the impact. Okay, take that advantage and then do it systematically. Introduce some innovation. Okay, think outside the box, and then you might come up with some findings. Talk to your supervisors and then ask for advice. Okay, read some previous work and then try to innovate things and then come up with some the good ideas. Right. So then tell the world the what you did, why you did it, and then how you did it, and then findings of your work. And also, any work might have limitations. We have to appreciate that, of course, and then tell the world if you were to do it again, how you're going to do it, or how to overcome some of the possible limitations. Perhaps it may not be correct, but you might think, okay, we can extend the work in this way, right? So then this is what we call a publication. You tell the world why you did it, sorry, what you did it, why you did it, and how you did it, and also findings of your work. And then you might just tell, perhaps if you follow this process or this path, we can improve this work actually. So this is all about publishing a research, right? So then now the type of the publications. So conference papers are the most common maybe, so it's easy to publish. So then it's not a full paper, but you try to just provide some of a snapshot of your research project, initial results, and so on. Okay, and then we can extend that to a full journal article. So the research article, so that is the main type. You try to explain the what you did in very well with maybe 15 pages or so, depending on the template and the guidelines provided by the publishing bodies. You might include introduction, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion, number of sections actually, right? So the conference papers could be 6 to 8 pages long most of the time. The journal papers could go up to maybe 15, sometimes mostly 12 to 15, but even 20 pages or so, right? So then the short letters, so this might be 2-3 pages. Some of the journal editorial might invite some well-known researchers to just provide a very short idea or the paper based on some key concepts, so which might they think should be useful to the knowledge in the world or to the other people all over the world. And review article, this is really important. So when you publish your paper in IEEE, ISL also, we have to just focus on the review. Review means we look at the research carried out so far within your field. So you have to have some good understanding the state of the field or state of the art of your research field. That is really important. Okay, so you got to know about what people has been done so far. Okay, they have done some lots of work, and then you understand the gaps in that the work, and then you try to fill one of those gaps or maybe number of those gaps. Okay, so in the review article you just explain, so this is what has been done, and then this is how we can improve it. Maybe you provide your thoughts. And then the case studies, so you can publish something based on some of the kind of the consideration or situation. For example, let's say now COVID-19. So then you try to just explain how the COVID-19 evolved over the last the year or last few months in Sri Lanka. You collect the data, analyze it, and publish as a case study. So that is the idea. Okay, right. So then you might have a question now. Okay, I did some research. Can I publish it? So these are the questions you have to ask. Are you aware of your knowledge gaps of your field of work? So that means do you know what has been done so far? Okay, is your work the fill in one or more gaps in the existing knowledge? Okay, so then that's fine. So then is your work extending the existing knowledge? So, okay, if it is, then that's fine. Have you carried out your research study with a logical plan? Okay, have you analyzed the data results thoroughly using suitable analytical techniques? Okay, so then that's fine if you have done it. And then have you drawn out some firm conclusions? Maybe you might get some unexpected result. That is still fine actually. So if answer to most of these questions, you can publish. But still, if you have some idea of publishing, so worth trying. You can try for a conference paper or a journal paper. Please try for it. So we have to start, and then just we see what will happen. Okay, so then publication route. So the normal procedure for a journal paper or conference paper could be quite simple, but publishing in a conference could be easier than a journal. Right. So normally, once you have your research carried out, you have the results, and you know what you did, and you know how you did it, and then you just based on that, based on the templates given by the conference or the journal, you can just prepare your paper. Right. So then after that, you follow the guidelines, and then get into the website. Here now, the URL, I mean the submission portal to submit the paper, and then you submit the manuscript. And then after that, in a conference or in a journal, there will be a peer review panel. So those are the experts from the world. And then once you submit your paper, so the journal or conference will just distribute your paper among 2, 3, or maybe even 5 the experts in the world to get their idea about your work. Okay, if those people think that your work is something worth publishing or worth that others to know of, so then they'll just comment on your work. Okay, this is a nice work, but there are some the issues here, and then they will provide their report. Okay, so then once they provide their report, and then the editorial member or the conference chair or the conference committee will collect those information and then analyze the data and then decide whether it is worth accepting. Okay, so most of the time, so then you might get some kind of revision to do. So you just submit, and then peer review process takes place. Some experts will just send their comments on your work, and then after that, so then the editorial panel can make the decision whether to accept or just to decline. Okay, so most of the time you might get major revision or maybe minor revision. So then you have to go back and then rework the paper based on the comments provided by the panel, the reviewers. So then you just again submit, and then most probably it will be accepted, and then you get into the publication, right? But also don't be surprised if your paper was declined. It is quite common nowadays. If you go for a conference, it would be most of the time it will be accepted, but still it can be rejected. But if you just consider some of the journals, so they get 10,000 papers per year, if you believe or not. Okay, so then but they can publish only 400 papers maybe per year. So then rest of the 9,600 has to be declined. Okay, so therefore the declining papers could be all right, but so then you can again think about another journal and try again to submit in a different place, right? Okay, so then the conference papers, as I mentioned before, so these are mostly the very basic the research idea you're just going to present. And also conferences are mostly organized in the nice areas of the world, if you notice it. So this is also to motivate the participation. So if you arrange a conference in a very tourist hotspot, so then people would like to attend. And also the idea is that you can the network with your the peers And then the idea of a conference is normally you attend to network, you create your network and then get to know about the field and also get to know about the most recent updates in the field actually. Right, again, the conference papers might not be accepted if you submit it. It depends on your quality of your work. Right, so this is how it looks like, one of the conference the websites. So you could see so many important things, the guidelines, important dates, and so on. So although I mentioned that the conference papers are not that as important as the journal articles, but it is not the case, right? Okay, I submitted one paper to this conference in 2017. So this is the paper here. So this has been now downloaded more than 20,000 times in my the profile in University of Manchester profile. Okay, so although it's the conference paper, it can get the value if it is important. Right, and then a journal article. So you have to select a suitable journal. There are lots of journals outside. So again, the publishing in good journals are really difficult actually. So, but if you get a good paper, a good research work, my suggestion is just try for the best one that you can think of. Okay, they might reject, that's fine. So then you can get into the next one. Right, so here you could see, depending on the research field, you have to select the suitable journal: industrial electronics, renewable energy, sustainable science. So these are some of the papers published by myself, and then this is Dr. Samal's paper. And lightweight materials, aerospace, energy, heat transfer. So number of different areas, you can select the suitable sector and suitable journal to submit for. Right, and then how to select the suitable journal? How do you know what are the suitable journals here? You could see that. So this is one of the good websites. You can look into the journal ranking and the available journals in different areas. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So we call SJR journal ranking. If you type in Google SJR journal ranking, you will get into this page. Right, so then after that you can refine the different areas, and then you can see the journals coming or listing down based on the H index or SJR. So this is really important. Right, so then if you can, for example, to see the quality of the journal, so I could say now, if you can publish the one paper in one of these top journals, that is enough for a PhD. Okay, so that might be enough for a PhD. That means you have contributed something very new and then very advanced thing into the knowledge. One paper in some journals would be enough for a PhD, but if you publish 10 papers in other journals, may not be enough for a PhD. Okay, so that is the value you have to understand. So there are lots of journals outside. So then some journals that they are now even you can publish by paying. Okay, most of the journals, good journals, they don't charge for you. Okay, so then you can publish free. But some journals, they are with some payments, you can publish any rubbish that you want, but the value is not good, impact is not good. Right, okay, so then why we have to publish? What is the importance? What we can get from out of it? Okay, so then you will develop a research profile. Okay, so then this would be the research profile would be key to some of the jobs actually, like academic jobs or maybe some research oriented jobs. Okay, and also you will be known to the world. Okay, and then you may land in some consultation work. So then I have some the consultation work in China, in Iran, in Germany, because of my profiles. They got to know about myself and then they contact me. Okay, and also you will be invited to join in some communities, editorial boards, or keynote speeches, and then the associate professorships, or maybe visiting professorships, or governmental roles. So then you will get those things if you have a good research profile. In industry, that is also important. So then you will be a problem solver. If you just try to the research into things, and then if you know how to just solve that problem, so you will be a problem solver, and then it will be a benefit, of course, in industry as well. Right, so then here you could see my profile in University of Manchester, and then this is the research gate, one of the profile. You could see people are just reading. I can see that each week how many people from which part of the world my work is reading. So then normally 500 people downloading my papers each week. Right, and then this is my Google Scholar, and then you can see here this important, the citations and H index. So this is kind of indication of a person's the research the strength. Okay, so this is me, and then still I'm in early career stage. But if you look into some of the well-known persons in the world, this is the person in Manchester, one of our colleagues who invented graphene. So you can see his H index is 132, one of the highest the H index values in the world. And you can see the citations as well. It's 300,000 something. Okay, so you can develop it. And also this is my YouTube profile here if you want to have a look. So this includes lots of videos for an engineering undergraduate. So it's worth having then have a look if you would like to. If you type in Dr. Chamil Labekon, you can just get into the YouTube as well. Okay, right. So then the basic structure of a conference paper or a paper that you want to write off. The initially you will have a title, just select some sexy title. Sexy mean the short and meaningful title. Okay, so then it should be attractive. That's really important. And then pick some important keywords. Okay, so these are really important. People will look into a title and abstract and then decide whether to read your paper or not. Right, then abstract, it should be an overall summary of your work. So you try to provide maybe 200, 300 words, 200 to 300 words. You just try to explain everything what you did. Very brief, the overview of your work. That is really important. Okay, and then you get introduction section. So you should explain the importance and background of your work, right? And also you should include the literature review. That means you should discuss some of the previous work in briefly here, right? Okay, so and also then you have to highlight some of the gaps in the field you're going to address for. So you just explain these work. Okay, these are the works that have been carried out so far, but there's a limitation in this particular area. So I'm going to do some research to fill that gap. Okay, so then that's it. So then you clearly explain it, and then in introduction section is for that, right? You can follow the same for your the conference paper. In methodology, you just explain how you did things, and then why you just selected some particular techniques, how you justified the decision that you made, and so on. It could be 1 to 2 pages. And then results section, so you have collected some the data information from your experiments, I would say results maybe, so you analyze them using suitable tools. It could be some analytical tools, graphical tools, or computational tools, whatever, suitable tools. And then after that, you can present the results in a meaningful way using figures, table, charts, flow charts, whatever you like. Okay, so it's 2 to 3 pages here again. Discussion section, you try to analyze what the results mean. Your findings you analyze here, and then maybe try to compare with the previous work. You could say that this is my results. Look, it is just the compatible with the previous work. So then it's a really nice work, and we are extending it into this level. So then that is the contribution of your work. Okay, so that is discussion section. Again, 1 to 2 pages. The conclusion section could be maybe half a page or few bullet points. So that is the main outcome of your work. Conclusions, the key, the core of your work. So based on my results, or based on my discussion, or based on my research, so these are the conclusions. So you just get some few bullet points here, right? Then future works. So then ideally you could just point out some possible directions for the extension of your work. Perhaps it might not work, as I said before. So then you could say, if I were to do this again, this is what I would change. Or maybe these are the gaps in my work or limitations in my work. Any work has some limitations. Don't want to just tell the world, okay, this is my work, so these are the limitations. That's fine. So then some person can extend that later. Okay, so then provide some direction for the future work as well. So that would be a good research paper then. Okay, you can follow this order for any research, any journal article or any conference paper, right? So then references, that's really important. You have to just provide some the evidence from the previous work. So then cite them. And then if you just claim something, you have to cite the previous works. So then at the end, you can list down all of these references that you used in your paper. That is the idea. So this is the rough sketch of the paper. So apart from this, each journal, each conference will provide a template on how to write your paper. Okay, so hope it is clear. And then very briefly, then the last thing. So if I just try to get into some tips of the presentation. Okay, so when you present something, be confident. If you are not confident, so then audience will realize it. So start with some context. Okay, be so you have to just attract the audience from the start. Otherwise, so people will not pay attention. So they will start just doing the chit chats everywhere. That is really not a good presentation. Then be confident, show it, and then start with the context and tell you a story in a logical way. Right? Keep it a simple logical story. And then the clear and consistent the slides are important, not too crowded. Okay, so then enough information with good figures and sketches or the flow charts and so on. So you have to use a good use of animations, figures, colors. It should be important. And then a good number of slides, maybe 1 slide per 1 minute. That's the kind of rule of thumb, but maybe you can decide to have more or less. It depends. And good delivery. So so not too fast, not too slow. Keep your timing. That is important. Maybe I'm not doing it today, right? And then know your audience. That is important as well. So you have to gauge the level of the audience, the knowledge level, I mean. So then you pitch your presentation to be compatible with the knowledge level of the audience. So then it will be interesting presentation actually. And then maintain eye contact. So this is not in Zoom actually. So if you just do it face to face, so you have to look at the audience. So maybe sometime it says as a letter of M or as a letter of W, scan the audience. So don't talk to the roofs and walls. So that is really important. So that if you talk to roofs and walls, it is a sign of you are not confident of what you are talking about. And then convey your excitement. Add some humor if you can, if it is related. And then the site mentioned previous work where possible. Give the credit to the team and to the other people. And then more importantly, keep it simple. Not too much complicated, so then anyone can understand. So that's it. Okay, I hope that's that's me. And then thank you very much for your the listening and time. I can take the questions later maybe. And then don't forget to submit your abstract to ISL YAM Members Technical Conference 2021. So start developing your research profile, okay, and developing some research impact. You can do it. So just start it now. So then let's see what will happen. Okay, we are here to help. Thank you very much.